Hello everyone and welcome back to Mossy Pine Ranch at Elmcreek. We have reached episode number 22 and are now in September. Last time we had our demo day and we borrowed the Traction King and the International, that's over here, from the dealership. They let us demo out to see how they got on. And we used the International mostly last time to do the rather large job of digestate spreading. And now today we are in September, of course, so it's the last opportunity for us to plant our canola, which we want to plant before it's too late. Before I do, a couple things to mention. The sheep have been busy making wool, so I've had to move a few pallets over so we've still got space to produce. When the price is the best, we will look to sell. And then some good news on our horses. If we take a look at the animal screen, we can see that our horses are at 95% puberty. So in another day or so, they will be ready to start the process of reproduction. So that means we are going to have to upgrade where the horses are. We're going to need to put them in a husbandry and one that has a capacity bigger than 5. So there's a space to accommodate the newborns. But yep, that's another job for another day. As today we've got to focus on our planting of canola. We've got cultivating to do first and then planting. I'm going to try and use the Traction King a little bit more this time round because we used the International here quite a bit last time. But I have one job that I need to do first of all, and that is to go and get some feed for the horses. They are nearly out of oats, so I'm grabbing the big bag carrier, and I'm probably going to buy another big bag carrier so I can have one on the front and one on the back, and we can get 4 big bags of oats back to the farm. So leave that with me and we can get the horses nice and fed. There we are. So I've dropped the big bags off. For some reason it wouldn't fill the feeding area, and I think that's because I've filled it up too much with hay, but that's okay. So we'll just drop these back over here. Very handy big bag lifters, and then we can get on to starting the cultivation of our fields. There we go. That'll do. Now I am going to be using the case slightly later as the grass is ready to mow again. Surprise, surprise. It seems to always be ready to mow. But rain is on the horizon this morning, but it should finish by midday. So my plan is, after we've done the cultivating, I'm going to quickly do a headland of the grass meadow, and then I'm going to leave the rest for a worker and see how they get on with mowing. It's a job that I've done countless times on Mossy Pine Ranch, so time to leave it to some of the hired help and see how they get on. Right, we shall leave that there, ready and waiting for when the rain has gone and we can mow it up. But now it's time to move on to cultivating both these fields. Field 2 and 3, and then 4, 5, 6 and 7 in the distance. So let's hop in the old Traction King. It is a bit of a beast this, so let's fire it up. And we can head over to grab the cultivator from the shed. Pretty manoeuvrable this tractor, thanks to front and back steering, so yeah, pretty happy that it can navigate the yard as we need it to. But there we go, right on cue comes the rain, so we're okay to proceed with cultivating. It's not going to get too wet. I just need to lower the cultivator as we drag it out. It's a little bit tall for the shed, but we can get it raised up as we exit, just so we don't start dragging it too far. Oh, I don't want to hit the International, that's got to go back to the dealership. Right, so let's nip into a suitable place to start on this field, probably by the top. So the cultivator just needed a quick service, probably from its use last time. And I'm not sure if I'm going to fit through this gate, but we'll give it a go. A very tight squeeze, but looks like we've managed it. So let's see about getting unfolded as I move through the trees, and then we can line up, lower away, and start cultivating this field. Now the case is a bit of a beast, it's got some good pulling power, so I'm imagining it's going to do a pretty swell job. Here we go. So the first step in getting our canola planted, the first step for today at least. We've had a few steps to get this planted after we harvested the barley, which was the crop prior to us wanting to do canola. We had to mulch the barley stalks, that's going to help towards the yield, and then we spread digestate to the double level of fertilisation, which is pretty good. And now we are cultivating, ready for us to plant. So I think I'm just going to switch to front steering for doing the cultivating. Conscious of how quickly the turning can affect where the cultivator is going. But let us head off up this rather steep incline. This is one of the hillier parts of Mossy Pine Ranch, second to the grass meadow, and probably the top up there near the farm. There we go. Oh yeah, the steering definitely has gone down now, it's only the front. So here we go. Let's get this all cultivated. And I'm probably going to try and do both fields in one if I can. See how we get on. And we'll also see when the rain stops as well, because I want to get that mowing underway. So leave that with me, and I'll see you in a short while. So that's all cultivated. I have a couple of little slithers just along the edge which I missed, so I'm going to tidy those up. One is here and the other is here. But that is all done now. So we've seen the weather change whilst we were doing it. It started off rather wet and it's now broken out into sunshine, and that's good. The last half an hour or so that we were doing that, the sun has been out and started work on drying our grass. So I think that's the next thing to do. We'll take a quick pause for a midday lunch and set the worker going on the grass meadow after we've done a quick headland. So let's get this stuff parked up. Quick cultivator wash, as we won't be using that again for a little while. There it goes, and we didn't need to wash the Traction King as that is going to get dirty planting. We can just set that aside there for now. Done a good job cultivating, and we can head over and grab the case and the mowers, and we'll quickly nip and do a headland, and then we'll test out the worker, see how they do in the field. Let's get switched on and lowered. And we are swath dropping, as we want to make our lives nice and easy for picking up with the forage wagon. We might even be able to see if a worker will be able to pick up with the forage wagon as well. Let me nip around here and get this done. There's one headland done, and now what I'm going to do is set off a worker, probably, oh I don't know, which angle should we set him off at? He might get a bit stuck, might have to come and help him out a little bit later, but let's just go with that for now and see how he gets on. This is new territory, seeing how they get on. But he is off, and I'm hoping he's going to turn around nicely when he reaches the edge. And the point of me doing the headland is so he's not going to bash into any of these telegraph poles or hit the trees up the top of the hill. I say that and he's probably going to go smash into one right now. But let's leave him to it. He will send me a message if he gets stuck. Yeah, we've done a lot of grass work before, so chance for us to crack on and get the next crop ready. And that is going to be canola. So back in the Traction King we go. And I am going to hitch up. Okay, so I think I need to switch to a 3-point hitch on this planter, so let's go get that changed up. And then I also need to fill it with seed so we don't have to pause whilst we're doing both fields. So we'll give it a repair, and we will also customize it to use the 3-point linkage rather than the trailed linkage. That will probably help with this Traction King. So let's re-hitch up, and there we go. So I'm not going to go too far, but just park up over here and get the covers open so we can then hop in the little John Deere and go get some seed from our seed little storage area. There we go, John Deere, let's get the bucket. Bucket. definitely need the rear weight if we're going to be sensible about things. There we go. Now we shall fill it into the planter. There we go. I remember this being a bit sketchy last time. We are, well, spilling it on the ground. Great. Right, that is the second load, delivered rather sketchily, but never mind. We need to get it in there somehow. Maybe in the future we can look to get a auger wagon or something of that nature to help deliver the seeds properly. But let's leave the John Deere there, and we can hop into the Traction King and start doing some planting. So yeah, 95% full. That's going to be enough for us today, and I think we'll get over to the bigger field first. Oh wow, look, our worker is making some good progress. A little too good perhaps. I think he's trying to do me out of a job. But let's get over here. We want to select canola, and if we look at the map we can see that, yep, canola is on the last opportunity to plant at the moment. And if we also look at our fields, we can see that they're nicely cultivated. They were also nicely mulched, and yep, our grass is turning from ready to harvest to harvested. Can't believe how quickly the grass grows, but that is great for us. It means that we've got lots of potential to earn good money from all of the grass earnings that we can get. So let's have a stab at how's best to plant this. I think we'll do a headland, and then we'll see what we can do. Now it doesn't look like it likes it when I do a full sort of lock turn, but let's fire up and lower away so we can start to get our canola in the ground. Here we go. Now this was pretty apparent in the cultivating, but this tractor definitely does not like to go up the gears on its own. I have to sometimes change up so it will then reach the maximum speed that it can do. And that's very similar to the Fiat Agri that Nordic and I have got on Calmlands. That's just the nature of some tractors, especially the older ones. And this is a older tractor, so yeah, we have to put up with its little quirks and interesting bits. Let's just raise up here, do a bit of a turn, and I think this is another case where I should probably switch to just the front wheels turning. Alright, finally managed to do the turn. Let's get lowered and set up for this row. And yeah, I'm going to try and do both fields in one again. Should be a quicker job because we've got much more width with the planter than we do the cultivator. Yet turning does appear to be quite tricky with this tractor, but yeah, it was tricky with the Case IH Pro as well, the tractor we've had from the start. I guess that's just the nature of having quite a big planter like this. So yeah, we'll have to see what's best. I'm going to get this all planted up and see you when we're done. So that is done. I have finished planting canola in the big field, and I was going to move on to the other field. However, I'll be honest, that was a real struggle. Not sure if the steering is to blame, because the Traction King has the front and rear steering, and there's also steering on the back of this planter. And yeah, it was really difficult trying to get it to turn around at each end. And yeah, it wasn't to my usual sort of standards of you know, planting straight and having nice straight lines and some good turns. It really did feel very awkward and difficult. So I'm thinking I'm going to make a change and try with the other case, the Case International, and see if that is any better. Yeah, around here is fine, but when the planter is open and not down, but when we're just trying to maneuver to do the next row, it really does struggle. So let's just unhitch here. We'll park up the Traction King and switch into the Case International. And if that doesn't do very well, then I have one last trick up my sleeve, which is going back to our old Case IH Pro and double wheeling that, so getting wide tyres and doubling up to get more traction. Could also double up on this case, but yeah, it has got pretty wide tyres, so I'd be surprised if it was the traction at fault. Right, so in the International, this doesn't have front and rear steering, but it is articulated in the middle, so we'll see how we get on with this. Right, hitched up, and yeah, this tractor is definitely out horse-powered. It's only 200 and this takes 280, but I just want to see for the manoeuvrability aspect if it holds its own. So we'll get it unfolded, starting in a bit of an unorthodox place, but never mind. Right, there we go. Let's get it fired up and lowered and see how this manages. Okay, so this definitely isn't the best. Some issues in the traction department, so I think we will leave that there, unhitch, and I'm going to go grab Case IH Pro and see if that can do a better job. So here's the Case IH. The helper has done a good job but missed a couple bits, so we will just get that seen to quickly. I think this is the last little bit here. So aside from that, the helper has done a grand job in doing this mowing. Top marks. Quick wash and service. That looks better. Don't need to wash the tractor as that's going to get dirty doing the planting. Right, that's the mowers dropped off, so let's quickly go and set some double wheels for the case. I think we're going to go for the full-on twin wheels, 6000. Cool, look at that. That's a bit of a beast, but that's going to give it the traction it needs. So let's see how this gets on with the planter. Right, so I've just switched back to the trailer hitch, as I'm not sure if the 3-point hitch is causing the problems. Let's head off. And that 3-point hitch has a extra axle to turn on, so that might have been causing the problems with the front and rear steering of the Case IH. But let's just take a look here. Manoeuvrability seems to be better. Yeah, it's definitely turning at a much better pace. Let's see if we can make this sharp turn here. There we go, bit of a power problem. It's underpowered, but it has done it. So yeah, it's a bit hard to say what is at fault. Is it the Traction King's turning? Just got a really bad turning radius. Or is it the 3-point hitch for the planter? I might test the Traction King on the last couple of strips just to see. Right, so I've hitched back up to the Traction King, and I noticed that when I hitched up to the trailer without the drawbar, it was really low and it was lifting up the back tyres. But I've added up the drawbar that we use for the John Deere, and that seems to have hitched a little bit better. So let's turn this on and we can just line up and off we go. And we can give this a little bit of a test just to see how manoeuvrable it is. And I think I can tell straight away that that's doing a much better job of manoeuvrability than it was before. So it's now gone back up in my estimations. Pretty happy with how it's running at the moment. I was considering whether we would actually go ahead and purchase one of our demo tractors because yeah, the International is a little bit low on the horsepower, and with a problem running our planter for this tractor, that was really going to limit us in terms of options. Right, just finishing up the last strip of planting our canola, and yeah, happy with how it is working and running now, thanks to the trusty drawbar, which also helps the John Deere out. There we go. That's all our canola planted. So we can get the rather large planter folded up and parked away. There we go. That's all parked up. And we can drop off the drawbar here as well. Never get over that gargle start. Yep, last job for today is rolling. We need to roll the fields that we planted. So let's grab our trusty roller. And this tractor, although it couldn't cope with a planter, is quite manoeuvrable for getting around the yard and doing some of the other jobs we got. Right, we are going to get the roller unfolded and use the International to do the rolling. So let's lower away and get started. just admiring the sun going down on what has been a long day, and finishing up the last strip of rolling on our big field. Yep, I switched into the other case, IH Pro, as the International seemed to just get stuck at 5 mile an hour, even though it can do 7. So wasn't going to be putting up with that for the whole field. So yeah, we switched over to our trusty old friend, the IH Pro, and yeah, I actually switched the wheels back to wide tyres this time, and with some rear weights, so that's going to help us with the traction. But that is it for today. I am going to be handing back our demo tractors, the Traction King and the International. I know that's not their full name, but that's how I've been referring to them. They will be going back to the dealership, and yeah, if we so decide, we might make a purchase for the next farm's tractor. But yet the main aim at the moment is saving money for buying a new piece of land next to the ranch to expand it. This later on this evening I am going to have to forage wagon up the grass that the helper kindly mowed up for us. Yep, that is it. I hope you have enjoyed watching. A big thank you for your views, likes and subscribes. If you've got any tips, tricks or things you'd like me to do, then feel free to leave a comment. All there's left to say is, I hope to see you again next time, and until then, catch you later. Cheers all, bye bye.